Joe Rogan speaks on Brandon Moreno vs. Deiveson Figueiredo. Brandon Moreno and Deiveson Figueiredo's fourth match has been long awaited. Every time these guys step into the octagon together, something special happens, and this rivalry is literally one of the best the UFC has ever seen. These top-level martial artists will be competing for the flyweight champion title belt. Both men have experience being the flyweight champion, but only one of them can leave the octagon a champ. Currently, Deiveson Figueiredo is the man with the champion title belt, but it's very possible he loses that belt going up against Brandon Moreno at UFC 283. What's cool about this rivalry is Brandon Moreno once before has taken the belt away from Figueiredo, and he plans on doing it again. A lot of UFC fans are excited for this match to take place again, and it seems like one of the most interested people is Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan recently had Brandon Moreno on his podcast, and you can tell that Joe Rogan is truly excited for this match to take place. He and Brandon Moreno chop it up for a good amount of time and actually get into several interesting topics. I must say that one of the most interesting was Brandon's thoughts on Deiveson Figueiredo and their rivalry. You can tell that Brandon Moreno is less fazed by anything, and Figueiredo is more of the big-headed, loudmouth guy, especially with him being the champion. All I know is Joe Rogan very rarely actually has UFC fighters on the podcast, and when he does, it's always a bunch of fun. I love to see Brandon Moreno and Joe Rogan kick back and talk it up, and this podcast is actually one of my favorites. Today, we'll be taking a closer look into Joe Rogan's conversation with Brandon Moreno. There's actually a lot to get into, so be sure to stick around and watch this video until the very end, as we get into things one detail at a time. Trust me when I say you won't want to miss a thing. Thanks for stopping by today and visiting us at Warrior Report. We post daily UFC updates and news that you really should know about if you're a fan. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel, leave a like, and comment keyword Moreno to enter a chance at winning our brand new iPhone giveaway. One lucky viewer is picked at the end of each month. Now, let's jump into this video and take a closer look at Joe Rogan speaking on Brandon Moreno vs. Deiveson Figueiredo. Brandon Moreno has been waiting for this rematch for some time now, and the moment has finally arrived. If you pay close attention to Brandon Moreno, you can see that he's actually super calm and collective. Brandon seems to have gotten a good control of his inner self and seems much more in tune with his body. It's been very interesting to watch the last 3 matches Moreno and Figueiredo had, but this may very likely be the last one, especially if Deiveson Figueiredo wins. All I know is UFC 283 is going to be full of surprises, and I cannot wait to see how it all plays out. Figueiredo and Moreno have already faced off, and there's a lot to read from it. The tension in the room is obviously out of the roof, and what's crazy is the match will be taking place in Brazil, Deiveson Figueiredo's hometown. These guys have been going at it for years now, and their rivalry is at an all-time high. Brandon Moreno's podcast with Joe Rogan shows a new side of Brandon Moreno, and I'm excited to see what he brings to the octagon. It won't be long before we know who the champion of the flyweight division is. The UFC has been a great sport to be a part of recently, and 2022 was full of many surprises. But now we're in 2023, and with Brandon Moreno vs. Deiveson Figueiredo being one of the first matches of the year, you can already tell that it's going to be exciting. The UFC is officially considered the fastest growing sport of all time, and each year that passes, it gets bigger and bigger. Right now, the UFC is at an all-time high, and President Dana White has some great plans for 2023. One of the very special ones being the legendary Jon Bones Jones coming back to the UFC. After years of being out of the sport, Jon Jones is finally returning in 2023, and that is going to be history in the making. Jon Jones is going against the toughest guy in the heavyweight division, Ciryl Gane. This match is going to be insane and will prove if Jon Jones is ready for his return. It'll most definitely be interesting to see what Jon Jones brings to the octagon, and I must admit, I'm more excited for this match than any other match. The UFC is truly one of the best sports, and I'm happy to be able to witness all these legendary matches between great martial artists. This year is going to be a roller coaster, and the Warrior Report team is going to be on top of all the latest news. Be sure to subscribe to our channel to be updated every time we post. We publish daily UFC news and updates that you really should know about if you're a fan. Thanks for visiting us at Warrior Report. Don't forget to leave a like and comment keyword Moreno to enter a chance at winning our brand new iPhone giveaway.